7 measures you need to take to kill all rats before entering your home. Stopping rats is not about reacting after they show up. It is about doing the right things before they ever reach your door. Fall turns every home into a target, but a few strategic steps every homeowner can take will shut down rats long before they try to enter. 1. Seal every entry point. Before temperatures drop, rats begin scouting the outside of your home weeks before they make their first move inside. They travel along fence lines, foundation walls, and garden edges searching for tiny weaknesses. What people forget is how small those weaknesses can be. A rat can flatten its body and slide through an opening smaller than your little finger. Studies from structural pest control teams show that a rat can fit through a gap as narrow as 6 millimeters. That is the size of a coin edge, not a doorway. As the weather cools, rat activity increases almost 40% as they migrate toward warm buildings. Homes built before the year 2000 show more than double the entry gaps due to older brickwork, stretched seals, and worn mortar. Even brand new homes develop micro openings around pipe cutouts and cable entry points. The simplest materials make the strongest defense. Steel wool packed into cracks forms a barrier that rats cannot chew. Silicone caulk closes wall openings. A proper rubber door sweep blocks the gap under back doors that often goes unnoticed. Once those areas are sealed, you cut the number of potential entry routes by more than 70%. Why it matters? If you seal the structure, you stop the invasion before it begins. Rats enter first and breed later. Blocking those tiny openings prevents the whole cycle from starting inside your home. 2. Install a one-way rat flap in your drain system. People imagine rats entering through windows or holes in walls, but one of the biggest entry points sits beneath your bathroom. UK water authorities report that more than half of rat intrusions begin in drain pipes. Modern sewer systems create long tunnels that rats use as highways. They climb up internal pipes, follow warm air currents, and appear near toilets or under sinks without leaving a trace outside. Rats can swim for days. They can tread water for almost 3 days straight and hold their breath long enough to move through water-filled sections of pipe. That makes toilets and kitchen drainage systems easy for them to navigate. A one-way drain flap solves this problem immediately. These small valves attach inside your outdoor drain connection. Water flows out easily, but rats cannot travel inward. Once installed, it becomes impossible for sewer rats to reach your indoor plumbing. Pest control companies list this as one of the most effective preventive steps in urban areas. Why it matters? You shut down the biggest secret entry tunnel rats use. Most homeowners never check this route, which is why infestations surprise them. With one device, you eliminate more than half of the risk. 3. Deploy outdoor bait stations instead of indoor poison. When rats start appearing inside homes, people make one mistake. They place poison inside their kitchens, attics, or basements. That forces rats to die inside walls, vents, or subfloors. The smell becomes unbearable and the problem drags on for weeks. Professionals never do this. The strategic move is to install locked bait stations outside your property line. These boxes hold regulated bait blocks that rats consume long before they reach your home. Outdoor baiting kills the colony at the perimeter rather than inside your living space. Professional baits use compounds that are far stronger and more effective than cheap supermarket options. Pest control specialists report that outdoor stations eliminate rats up to 70% faster because they interrupt the colony at the source. Rats are territorial. Once the outside colony collapses, no new rats move toward your house. That is why perimeter baiting is the #1 method used by professionals during fall rat surges. Why it matters? You clear the danger before it ever crosses your threshold. Killing rats outside prevents nesting, breeding, and wall deaths. It removes the problem at the root. 4. Secure all rubbish and eliminate outdoor food access. If your home has food, rats will find it. They pick houses based on scent trails that drift through the air from rubbish bags, compost piles, or overflowing outdoor bins. Food odours travel farther than people realise. In damp autumn air, scent spreads up to 150 feet. That radius covers neighbouring gardens, public alleys, and shared bin areas in flats. Homes with unsecured bins experience almost 4 times more rat visits. A bin lid that does not close completely becomes the reason rats return night after night. Even recycling bags with small food residue attract them. Rats chew through plastic easily and follow scent trails directly to your wall edges. Metal bins work best because they resist chewing. Heavy lids prevent rats from climbing inside. Rubbish should never sit outside overnight in loose bags. Any food scraps left uncovered outdoors act as beacons. Dry pet food left on patios, unwashed barbecue trays, compost with fresh leftovers, and uncleaned bird feeders all become feeding stations. Once a rat finds a reliable food source, it sends scent signals back to the colony. That is how one rat turns into 12. Removing every outdoor food source breaks that chain. Without food, rats do not attempt entry. Why it matters? This is the easiest prevention step and one of the most powerful. Secure bins remove the reward that drives rats toward your home in the first place. 5. Cut back vegetation and remove garden debris. Before it turns into a rat highway, rats explore your garden long before they explore your home. They travel along fences, under shrubs, and behind plant pots because they move with caution. Overgrown vegetation gives them the cover they want. Once autumn arrives, that cover becomes even more valuable. The full growth of ivy, tall grass, and thick shrubs creates a perfect hidden tunnel system around your home. What people often ignore is that rats do not need direct access to food at this stage. They only need safe travel paths. The protection offered by heavy vegetation allows them to scout your house without being seen. Garden piles cause even more problems. A stack of firewood, leaves, or cardboard boxes becomes a warm, nesting zone. Rats hide inside these piles during colder evenings. They settle, breed, and explore from that base. Garden sheds also contribute to the problem. Many sheds collect tools, boxes, and old bags that sit untouched for months. This clutter becomes another staging area for rats waiting for the right moment to approach your home. Research from residential pest control teams shows that homes with thick garden vegetation have nearly triple the rat movement along the property boundary. That number rises dramatically during September and October when temperatures drop. A single night of shelter can be enough for rats to claim an area. Once they settle, they begin digging burrows and searching for entry points into the home. The solution is straightforward. Trim shrubs away from the exterior walls. Lift pots off the ground so rats cannot hide behind them. Move wood piles away from the house. Clear leaf piles before they rot. Cut ivy that crawls up exterior brickwork. Create a 1 meter clear perimeter around your home. This open strip removes the safety zone rats rely on, and without that protection, they avoid your house entirely. Why it matters. You take away the environment that invites rats into your garden. Clearing vegetation and debris prevents rats from establishing the hidden routes they use to reach your walls. 6. Remove all outdoor water sources. Because rats cannot survive long. Without fresh water, rats can survive many conditions, but they cannot survive long periods without water. They live for a month without food if necessary, but they only last about a week without a reliable water source. That fact gives you a major advantage. If you break their water supply, they abandon your property. What surprises most homeowners is how many water sources they unknowingly provide. A dripping outdoor tap is enough. A plant tray filled with rainwater is enough. A pet bowl left outside overnight is enough. Even condensation from an air conditioning pipe gives rats everything they need. Autumn weather increases the problem. Rain collects in shallow spots in the garden. Moist soil holds water beneath the top layer. Fallen leaves trap moisture and create a tiny reservoir. Rats drink from all of these places. Once they find a dependable water supply, they stay close. Studies from environmental pest management show that rat colonies collapse within weeks when outdoor water access is removed. That finding changed how professionals approach prevention. Instead of chasing rats, inside homes they focus on breaking the survival chain outside. You can use the same approach. Inspect your garden after rainfall. Empty plant trays. Tighten outdoor hose connections. Check for leaks under the decking. Ensure your gutter downpipes flow correctly. Remove bowls left outside after feeding pets. Keep yards free of objects that collect water. You also need to watch your garage or shed. Water can pool near old bags, toolboxes, or bicycles. Rats enter through tiny gaps, drink, and return at night. Removing all indoor moisture in sheds or garages blocks that survival route. Once you eliminate water sources, rats cannot sustain themselves. They move on to the next property with easier access. Why it matters. Controlling water is one of the most powerful rat prevention tools. Removing every outdoor water source forces rats to retreat before they ever reach your home. 7. Use ultrasonic repellers and scent barriers to block rat activity at the edges of your home. Rats communicate using noises that humans cannot hear. They use high-frequency sounds to coordinate movements, warn each other, and map spaces. Ultrasonic repellers take advantage of this behavior. These devices produce frequencies that interrupt rat communication, creating confusion in the area. When used correctly, ultrasonic repellers reduce indoor and outdoor rat movement significantly. They do not kill rats directly, but they remove the comfort and communication that rats depend on. The key is placement. Repellers must be installed in garages, loft spaces, basements, and the first meter of garden entrances. These areas act as staging zones where rats decide whether to enter. When the frequency interferes with their communication patterns, they choose a different path. Scent barriers reinforce this defense. Rats rely on smell for navigation. When strong scents disrupt their trails, they avoid the area. Peppermint oil, eucalyptus oil, and naphthalene pellets are common scent deterrents used by professional pest control workers. These scents block rat pheromone trails and create an environment that rats find unpleasant. When you combine ultrasonic repellers with scent barriers, you build a layered defense. The sound disrupts communication, while the scent blocks navigation. This combination creates a zone that rats cannot comfortably cross. Pest control studies show that homes using both methods experience a significant reduction in rat returns. You can apply scent barriers along baseboards, near door frames, inside cupboards, behind kitchen appliances, and around the corners of sheds. You can also place small cotton balls soaked in peppermint oil inside entry gaps that you already sealed to strengthen the deterrent effect. While ultrasonic repellers alone do not solve infestations, they become extremely powerful once you have already removed food and water sources. They create an environment rats avoid altogether. Why it matters: you build a protective wall around your home using sound and scent. These deterrents make your property uncomfortable for rats and stop them from approaching the entry points you worked hard to secure. Subscribe, like and comment why you like this video for a chance to win a new Apple MacBook.